are in the scrapping barn today. I've just got a little bit of time before we're going to take a trip and go pick up some scrap metal. I'll bring you guys along for that. But I have some yokes that I got out of those TVs and out of those computer monitors that I'm going to be taking apart. So you can see the copper that's inside of these and all around them. This is number 2 copper, so that's based on like the thickness of it and the grade that the scrapyard will take. So this is number 2 copper. That's currently selling for about $4.20 a pound. So you can kind of imagine that's a very high price. The price is very good right now. So usually they'll come out and they'll have this piece, which is on the inside. So like this piece comes out, and that's this one. And then usually they'll have this piece on the outside. So you can see the steel, that composite steel that this is wrapped around. So we'll take this part and put it into a plastic bag and then take a hammer and smush it up to get the steel out of it so we can put the copper into our copper barrel. So I've got like 30 minutes and I'm going to see how many of these I can get through. So I'm going to bring you guys along for that. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing to note is that every yoke that you do is different. Like every TV is, and every computer monitor is usually just a little bit different. So every yoke is a little bit different. But usually you can start out and have some common similarities. So this piece is just a piece of steel that goes into our steel bin. So we'll start off by taking those off of the yoke itself. And then there's these clips right here. So there's going to be one on each side. And you pop that off, that steel. One on each side, and then depending what yoke it is, it will determine like what kind of glue, what kind of sealant is used on it. But usually you're able to just pry off this bit, and this board is getting in the way. Hello. Try not to drop Josh's camera onto my scrapping bench. Let's see if I can get you guys a little bit stabler. Okay. There we go. Alright, so then just taking off this board. This is one of the lowest kind of grades of board. You are able to turn this in, and we have a pile that we keep to turn in someday. This is like the lowest grade of board that you can get. The more, let me see if I got a demonstration. Okay, the more things that are on the board, the higher the board grade is. So since this is just plain, that would be a very, very low grade board. But that's not really why we're going after this. We're going after this for the copper because that is one of the highest priced items in the scrapping industry that you can get right now. So we're gonna be able to pop these off. So these I'll put into this Meyer bag I have, and when I get a few of them together, I'll smush them up with a hammer, and that'll be able to clean that up. But then this is the inside bit, which can be a little bit tricky depending how it's put together, because everyone is different. So it's kind of, I don't know, you just kind of gotta finagle it in order to figure out how it wants to come apart. See if I can get this plastic piece apart. There we go. So then you have, this is just plastic that can go in the garbage, and then this piece, I just like to peel off the tape just so there's no confusion at the scrapyard that this is clean copper, doesn't have a lot of, plastic on it, doesn't have a lot of tape, doesn't have a lot of glue. So I like to make sure I take off the tape before putting it into my number 2 copper bin. So yeah, that's how this goes. So here we go. guys, so it's the next day. I ran out of time yesterday, but I got through the entire bucket of yokes. So this is from all of the TV yokes from Monday that I scrapped, and from the computer monitors and TVs that I scrapped yesterday. So that's all of the secondary pieces, the inner pieces of the yokes are in here. And then I also have a bag full of these. So this is what I'm going to be processing next. So this is the outer piece of the thing, and it's got this steel that goes through the middle. So we'll take this and pound it with a hammer and be able to pull all of the copper out and put the steel in our steel bucket and add to our copper box, which is getting kind of heavy. I might need to find a bigger box, but I'm going to get started on these, and then I'll let you know how it's going. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. So these sometimes they've got the glue on them, and all of them have a different kind of glue. So this one's like a brown. This one doesn't have almost any on the copper, but then some of them are going to be a pain because they've got the glue and it goes all the way like halfway through the copper. So that one would be a pain, but the rest of them, we'll see how this goes. So here we go. Here's our final results. So this is a pretty good bucket of copper we've got here. I weighed it, and it weighs about 10.5 pounds. And the number 2 copper price right now is about $4.16. So that equals about $45 of copper. So that was all of the TV yokes from the TVs I scrapped on Monday and the TVs I scrapped yesterday. I really love, it's hard to see it on the camera, but I really love this one. It comes out of the computer monitors, and it's like a braided wire, where the other ones are like a solid, and you can't even, like, you can't play with this. But like this is just kind of fun to just run through your fingers, and yeah. Anyways, so there was all of the copper from the inside of the yokes, and all of the copper broken out of the metal pieces. That's in here too. So, alright, that was scrapping TV yokes. So, thank you for watching.